True love never shouts. Stay with this for a moment. This might be about your life. The evening didn't ask to be noticed. It just arrived, quietly, like something that didn't need to prove it belonged. The room was still not empty, just full of things that didn't need words. She sat by the window, holding a cup of tea, cold now, but she didn't notice. Across the room, he turned a page, or maybe he hadn't moved it in a while. They hadn't spoken much that day, not because something was wrong, but because nothing needed to be explained anymore. There was a time their love was louder. Words came quickly. Laughter stayed longer. Everything was spoken out loud, but time doesn't take love away. It changes how it speaks. Now love didn't disappear. It became harder to notice. It hid in small things. In the way he looked up, when she went quiet, and in the way she remembered what he never said. In the way both of them stayed, on days that felt like nothing at all. The light went out. Darkness didn't rush in. It simply stayed where the light had left. He stood up, not fast, not worried, just certain. He lit a candle. The flame flickered between them, soft and steady, alive. For a moment, they looked at each other, not at faces, but at years. He walked closer, not too close, just enough to say, "I'm still here." He sat beside her. Their shoulders almost touched, just almost. That space wasn't distance, it was comfort. She smiled, a quiet smile, the kind that doesn't try to be seen. But he saw it, he always did, and he smiled back. That was their conversation, that was their love. They didn't stop loving, they just stopped explaining it. Some people don't say, "I love you," because they've been proving it every single day. Look at your life for a moment, not the loud moments, not the dramatic ones. Look at the quiet, the person who stayed, the one who didn't leave, even when things felt ordinary. Maybe you've been waiting for love to sound louder, clearer, bigger, more obvious. But what if the love you're searching for is already there, just a little softer than you expected? The candle burned lower, time slowed down, and nothing felt missing. Because love was never gone. It had just become quieter, stronger, steadier. He didn't say "I love you," but he never forgot to stay. And here's the truth. Most people realize too late. The loudest love you ever lost often makes you ignore the quiet one that stayed. Because true love doesn't shout. It doesn't beg to be noticed. It doesn't try to win you every day. It simply remains, even when everything else becomes silent. And by the time you understand quiet love, it's often the one you almost lost. If this story touched your heart, there's more like this on Soulful English Stories, SS888, for heart-lifting stories of the soul, told gently for hearts that feel deeply.